Hello everyone. I hope you can hear me okay. There's some lawn landscapers next door making some loud noise. What inspired me to do this video today was a situation I just encountered at the Sally Beauty store, and so I want to talk to you today about falling, aging, the victim mentality, and drama, and our reactions to what we observe in life rather than how we respond. So let me start out by explaining what happened in the Sally Beauty store. I'm in the back of the store shopping. You know me, love to shop, right? So I'm shopping, and then I hear this gasp, and then a little bit of commotion. Oh, are you okay? Oh, you're okay? Stay on the floor, stay on the floor. So obviously someone fell down. So I slowly made my way to the front of the store where the cash registers were, because I had my items, but just because there was commotion, I wasn't too drawn to go there like like a shark in frenzied water. My response to drama and to drama, which is really what it is. My response to drama often is seemingly disconnected, but that's not really a disconnection. It is a response. So instead of being pulled in to the reaction that everybody else has going on, I respond. Calm, relaxed, at ease. How else can you properly function in any situation, especially a situation that might call for a little bit of action with clear thinking? And something happens, you've got to be able to think clearly and respond. Maybe as a fitness instructor or a boat captain or whatever I've done in my life, I've cultivated this. You know what, to be quite honest, I think it's been the other way around. As a kid, I have noticed that I have always been a responder rather than a reactor to situations, and I think that is positioned me perfectly to be a boat captain at one time in my life, and to be a fitness instructor. And when people fall down in my class, because yeah, they do, they fall in my class, and it's happened, I do not react with the gasping, oh my God, and there's enough people already doing that. There's no need for that. I'm not saying don't be compassionate, but I am saying respond. And you have to be clear-minded enough to get there. So somebody fell in Sally Beauty, and she bumped her head. She had quite a knot growing on her head. Somebody went next door and got her some ice. But the reaction of the people around her was of drama. Oh my God. And the lady is obviously, she's okay. She just bumped her head. She's aware. And I'm pretty sure that she might have been one of the teachers that I've had as a kid. I did recognize her, but I didn't talk to her about that. So I went up to her and, you fell down, you bumped your head. Good for you. Good for you. I mean, and seemingly, that would seemingly be, to someone who doesn't know me, a heartless response. But if you think about it, kids fall down and hit their heads all the time. What's the big deal? So what? She was, in her 70s, and that was the next thing she went to was, I'm 73, and I said, so what? So what? Because I'm working with people one lady who is 93 in my class, and she gets her ass down on the floor. Why? Because she's spry, because she knows that it's healthy for her, and she knows that if she doesn't get herself into these challenging situations, that she is worse for it. So I don't let people pull that age card. I think it's a bullshit card to pull. So don't pull that aging card with me. If you do, I'm going to flip it around and turn it right on your ass and see how you respond to that. You haven't fallen in a long time? Big whoop. So you fell now. Okay, what are we going to do from here? So she fell and she stayed on the floor, and they got her some ice, and she had a big freaking egg on her head. And then one of the gentlemen that came in, who was giving her the ice, very, very nice guy, he started talking about my mom, or my mother-in-law. She fell 3 times last month, and of course the situation is calling for more of the same. And that's just how the universe works, everybody. It's an electric universe, everyone. So if you've got this situation going on, it's going to attract more of the same. And so he went off on his tangent, his story. My mother-in-law fell this time and this time and this time, and she's this old. And my question to him was, how's her gait? He's like, yeah, she shuffles. I'm like, yeah, I bet she does shuffle. And that's why she fell. That's why she fell. Because she's become so sedentary and not moving as well or as much as she really is designed to. And so her body put her right on her ass because it is losing its ability to function as per its design. So there you go, everybody. Falling, aging, and now let's get into the victim mentality. Victim mentality. Woe is me, it's my age, I'm getting old, I'm falling apart. Bullshit. Bullshit. So do you want to play victim and then put more responsibility on your children or your grandchildren and all of the people around you because you want to play victim now? Is that part of who you want to be? It might be serving you at this point, but if you think about it in terms of what am I doing to the people around me? What kind of responsibility am I heaping on others as I decide not to take any personal responsibility for my life experience? That might give you a new perspective to get up off your ass and start taking control of your life. I see that very often all around me, but I don't see it as often in my classes. And I believe the reason why is because the people that resonate with what I teach are the people that want to have their power. They want to have their power. They want to have control over their lives. They want to dictate their lives. They want to enjoy their lives. They don't want life to be happening for them. And so if you're in a position where you're shuffling your feet, or you're not walking as much as you used to, or you're sitting down more and more and more, if you haven't thought about it and chewed on it, think about the people around you, your family. What kind of responsibility you are putting in their laps because you're deciding not to move anymore? What's going to happen when your body says, okay, you don't want to move anymore? Let me get you to the point where you can't move anymore. Because that's always what happens. If you choose that direction of, I won't move anymore, you're going to soon hit that place where I can't move anymore. And now you have to call the fire department or the police to pick you up off of the floor because help, I've fallen and I can't get up. Is that where you want your life to end up? If it is, then you're probably not listening to me right now. But if it's not, more than likely you're probably listening to me right now. So you can share this video with other people if you'd like to. But in the predicament that people were in today, this woman fell on the floor. I encourage you guys to be a responder, not a reactor. Be a responder. Don't be part of that group that's gasping and oohing and eyeing, and it's very easy to fall right into that groupthink because everybody else is doing it, and it seems the appropriate response, but really it isn't. It isn't. And so when the police get called and you witness how they respond, because they do, they respond, they come, they're cool, they're calm, they're collected, and oftentimes they're like that because they're practiced in this. Many of us are not practiced in this. What if you're shopping at the outlets or wherever the heck you are? How would you respond if someone clutched their chest and fell on the floor? Do you know how to respond to that? Do you know what to do? Do you know CPR? Have you practiced it? Do you think it might be something you might want to practice or take a course on? Maybe yearly, every 2 years. Because getting yourself into these practiced situations is going to diffuse any of the stress that you can heap upon yourself in the situations. And where does that stress come from? A lack of knowledge. A lack of knowledge and a lack of practice with that knowledge, which really is wisdom. So I knew that this one, she's fine. She's fine. They're going to come, they're going to take her, and they're going to do the doctor thing and check her out. Stuff that I don't know, and that's fine. But this woman, she was fine. She was conscious. That's why I walked over there. Okay, did she fall down because she's having heart problems, difficulty breathing? Because I happen to know CPR. So I went over there in a calm way to check it out. People may need my help. They might need someone like that. Because the people that were around her did not know CPR. They did not know mouth to mouth. They did not know how to resuscitate someone. But I did. So in a calm, cool, collected manner, I was able to respond rather than, oh. And it's very important to be aware of your patterns. And let's tie this right back into victim mentality and what your patterns are. Do you know your patterns? You know, sometimes the only way to even know your own patterns is to get yourself in a difficult situation. Find yourself in a difficult situation, or even falsely create or pretend a difficult situation for yourself so that you can notice how you respond, how you react, and then make changes from there if it's deemed necessary. But if you keep playing that victim mentality, and let's get into the very, very end of this, because I don't want to go on and on, because, man, you guys know that I can. If you play into that victim mentality, and you're sitting at home, sitting on the couch, and you're sitting more and more and more, watching the boob tube, and eating, and getting fat, and getting lazy, and your posture is starting to show it, you're starting to shuffle, your life is reflecting the mentality that you bring to it. And so nobody can stop you from falling, from getting mugged, from getting burglarized, from getting taken advantage of by families, by a storekeeper. If you are playing that role of victim, the universe is going to flock to it and show up with people that want to take advantage of you. Hello? This is not to say that like attracts like, because it's a little bit of a misnomer. But yeah, it does. You play victim, you're going to get people that are going to take advantage of you. I know, because I freaking lived it. I'm living it right now. So if you want to flip that switch and flip your role, you can. But it depends on what you want to do and then your willpower to make the changes necessary. So you might break your hip. You might get robbed. You might fall down the stairs. Your life experience is going to reflect to you everything that you've been putting out there. So that's why I do not allow people in my class to make the excuse of age, to make the excuse of I can't, to make the excuse of even I won't. I'll question that. Some of you might have a really good reason for not doing some of the moves in class, but it's down to you, everybody. If you want to play the victim mentality, it goes far beyond you just whining about your age. You might have people stealing money from you. You might have people rear-ending you for insurance jobs. It goes far beyond that. But understand, no one can take advantage of you if you are a confident, secure, sure person. That's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. You want to play the woe is me? Guess what? Life is going to send you some stuff that's going to take advantage of you. And so I see that in my class. I see that in my class often. You play the woe is me, you're going to end up falling. What was it, a few months ago. This one woman, I forgot where it was. I think it was in my library class. Yeah, I forgot where it was. Might not have been in the library. Might have been in another one. This one woman was talking about falling. Yeah, but I'm going to fall. Yeah, but I'm going to fall. I'm so afraid of falling. She wouldn't shut up about it. She wouldn't shut up about it in class. Every time I came over to her She says, yeah, but I feel like I'm going to fall. Yeah, it was there. I feel like I'm going to fall. I feel like I'm going to fall. And you want to know what happened at the end of class? With all of her confirming, affirming, fall. Guess what she did at the end of class? She fell. And you want to know how she did it? It was so synchronistic. It was so synchronistic. This is how she fell in class. She picked up her cane. She went to walk. She kicked her own cane out from under her foot. She actually didn't hit the floor, if I remember. There were people around her, and they kind of caught her. But it was so synchronistic. Guys, your life is showing you exactly what you're sticking out there. The more emotion you add to it, the stronger life is going to show it to you. You don't have to fight against anything. You don't have to win. You don't have to struggle. I understand the struggle is real, but what's the word I'm looking for? The suffering is needless. You can experience contrast, but you don't need to stay writhing in agony within it. Bounce off the contrast and experience its opposite, because that is what contrast is there for, to help you create its opposite. And as soon as you experience the contrast, you experience what you don't want. You know how it feels. Oh my God, this feels horrible. I don't like feeling like the victim. I don't like feeling like this. You can immediately go in the opposite direction. Once you know what you don't like, you know exactly what you do like. And it's down to you. I'm not here to fix your life for you, but I can provide you the tools with which you can do so. So don't kick your own cane out from under you. But if you do and you don't notice it, don't worry. The signal will get stronger, and life will show you an even stronger lesson if that's where you're going. Don't worry. It will get louder and louder until you finally notice what life is showing you. So that's all I have to say today. We covered falling, we covered age, we covered victim mentality, and ways that you can change that. Let me give you a few moves before I sign off today, only because the situation deems it necessary. If you're someone out there that's noticing you're scuffing your foot every few steps, you might not even be an older person to require that kind of experience. Guess what that is? That is your hip flexor not doing its work and not lifting your leg through your gait pattern. If you're noticing every few steps or so, ooh, I'm scuffing my foot. What is that? Ding, 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 ding. Hello, your muscles are not doing what they're designed to do. So we've got to turn on your hip flexor, and it doesn't take many moves to do that, but you do have to be diligent in the process, meaning you got to do this stuff every day because you got to remind your body how to get back to its design. So I'm going to turn to the side. I'm going to show you some hip flexor lifts, and we're going to start out really easy. So I'm putting a little block in between my knees, and I'm sitting on a chair. This is a chair for you at home. For me, this is my chair today. Put your legs at 90 degrees, heels right underneath your knees. I want everybody to slouch. And then you're going to take it in the opposite direction. I'm tilting my pelvis, anterior tilt, so roll your hips forward so you put a little arch into your lower back. Great, everyone. And now you're going to lift your heels off the floor and lower them back down. Now there's a little nuance I want you to learn out of this, and that is being very light on your toes is going to force this work to come right into your hip. So if you look at this motion, your calf can get this done really easily, but I don't want it to be your calf. I want it to be your hip flexor. So keeping the pelvis in an anterior tilt, rolling forward, be really light on your toes. I have to actually sit back a little bit more here. Be very light on your toes. And as you get light on your toes, think about being on eggshells and you don't want to crack them. It's going to force that work to come right into your hip. Can you do this on the floor? Absolutely. You can lay on the floor and give this a shot. If you're bedridden, you could even do this in the bed, but more than likely you're not watching my video from the bed, so this is for you guys at home. If you're ready to come a little bit further, everyone, keep the block there. I'm going to take your hands right behind you. You're going to keep the arch in your lower back, so I really want you to engage from the front part of your hip. You can lean back just a little bit for a little bit of balance, but I want you to be fairly light on your hands. Lift your legs and lower. Really getting into the hips now. Now, if you're really good at this, you can do this with no hands. Eventually. Eventually. And you can do these in sets of 10, in sets of 20. I don't care. As long as you feel some of this work getting into your hip and you begin to strengthen the hip. That's part of it. And then taking this a step further, I'm going to turn to face you in the front because I want you to see my alignment. I'm going to take it a little bit further, everybody. A lot of you already know this sequence. Rolling the hips forward, leaning back just a little bit. Pick up, extend out, and back in. Good luck. So for a lot of you, your ankles are going to come together. Do your best to keep them hip distance. Good job, everyone. And you can do these in sets of 10 or 20. I don't care. Do what feels right for you. Be deliberate and, I don't want to say be determined, but just get it done. Because man, is it frustrating watching people shuffle and then get further and further and further into this state. I have one client, they died. They died because of that. Because they didn't want to move. This state, I already feel depressed. And that mindset is completely linked with this type of posture. How can you walk around like this and feel depressed? This is not the posture of someone that feels depressed. Sinking the heart back, rounding the shoulders forward. This is a more depressive posture. And it will play that back and forth role of getting you depressed if you continue in the direction of that posture. So one more really strong move, flutter kicks, everybody. And you can do these in a seated position. So try your best. Roll your pelvis forward. Pick up the legs. Every 10, I'm going to turn to the side for you. Every 10, I like to change the position of my ankles. So going from pointing my toes, so you can see. So plantar flexion, dorsiflexion. A lot of you whose hips are not working as well as they could, and granted, everybody's got different reasons why they may or may not be working. Maybe you got into a car accident, a motorcycle accident, and maybe you've been bedridden for a while, and we've got to bring the body back again, and that's okay. But any of you that are having a hard time keeping the knees straight, that's a sign the hip flexor, it's not quite ready for this. So feel free to regress to any of the previous moves until you can get strong enough to get yourself here. But you want to keep the knees straight, everybody. I don't want to see people doing like this. This is not a bicycle, not even in the littlest way. So if you're bending at all, you're not ready for this move. Regress it back to one of the other moves and build your way up into the flutter kick. Ultimately, you'll get yourself to doing 50 flutter kicks, 100 flutter kicks, maybe not even putting your hands behind you just like I did, because the hips will get strong enough to hold you there. Guys, that's all I got for you for today. It's not about making excuses for your age. That is bullshit. Bullshit. I will not accept that, and neither should you. You're strong enough to not accept age, a number, as, I almost want to say defeat, as defeat, because it doesn't defeat you. This can empower you. It's the body that you bring, the mentality that you bring to your life. How do you want life to show up for you? Because life is happening for you. Do you want it to happen to you instead? Like what I just witnessed? Let's let life happen for us, everyone. Have an empowering day. Bye.